What up, boys, and welcome back to the almost the last video of BFA. So this video couldn't come at a better time because it is probably the most asked question like right now, like when Shadowlands is just about to launch. And it's a question that the majority of the people asking it are people who have bought the 0 to 10 million gold guide, because one of the things that are exclusive to the book only is the this section right here, and that's like the stockpile section of the books, like what I'm stockpiling myself. It has nothing to do with like the best type of investments to make in the game. It's just a bunch of items that I stockpiled that I consider to be like safe bets, because they're always going to be in demand and you're going to sell them regardless, right? So it's just about either, well, you're farming him, obviously, and you're just holding on to it because the price right now is really bad, or you're investing in it and you want to sell it for a profit, and then you obviously got to buy it cheaply enough to the point where you know for a fact you're going to profit from it. So this is like, I'm going to tell you guys how I usually like I get out of it before everyone else does. So very commonly when you have somebody stockpiling stuff, investing for stuff, or even if you have a farm that is super trendy right now, basically what's going to happen is that 95% of the people playing the game, they're really impatient. So whenever they farm something, stockpile something, whatever, invest into something, they get nervous. They post it on the auction house, they get undercut, so they undercut more, they get undercut again, and so on. The prices, they're so low, and people end up selling their items dirt cheap, and that's where people like me come in and just buy it up. And then when all the panic sales are out of the way and the farm is no longer trendy and there's still demand for the items, we profit big on it, especially people that invest for a new expansion. So when people ask me, "Yo, Studen, when's the right time to sell my shit in Shadowlands?" A lot of people, they kind of gasp when I tell them I've already sold 40 to 50% of my stockpile and I made over 100% return on everything across the line. And it was the same thing back when I did like these community stockpile videos in Legion, where basically people sent me screenshots and I showed them what I stockpiled, they showed me their stockpile, and it was obviously a lot of the same things. And basically what happened was when Legion came around, when Legion launched, literally the day that Legion launched, everyone just dumped their materials on the auction house because they thought that, yay, new expansion, new people, it's going to fly off the auction house and it's going to sell for a lot of gold. And it doesn't. And the fact that there's supply on the auction house, like there's so many people posting items on the auction house, it just completely destroys the price, and people get nervous, impatient, and they just sell it for whatever they can, right? Because they've already invested the time into farming the said item, and that's in the past. They don't mind spending those hours now because they're living in the present, so they don't mind selling their materials or whatever the item is cheaply. I, however, and what you guys should do as well, this doesn't only go for like the stockpiling section in my book, but like for any investment, any farms that you're doing whatsoever, like the most important page in the book is probably one of the last pages, where I talk about the auction house selling mentality. Like, if you go out and you do like a very, very steady farm that everyone knows about, let's just say that that farm is going to be volatile water, right? And you know that you can average like 1,000 volatile water an hour. You go, you do it, and when you're done with the farm, you notice that volatile water is 11 gold each, and you're only going to make like 11k on the volatile water. So most people are just going to be like, ah, shit, dude, it's really low on my realm, it sucks ass. I'm just going to post it on the auction house, and goddamn, Studen sucks, man. I only made 11k, right? What you should do, though, however, is stockpile it. You can see that the market value is usually way higher. You can also go on the Undermine Journal. You can look at historical prices and you can see how much it usually goes for when it's not hyped up and the supply is insanely high. And then refuse to sell it until it reaches that average historical price again. So basically what I do though is I do all of these farms And I don't sell them unless I'm pleased with the gold per hour myself. Like, if I don't make 30,000 gold an hour, it depends on the farm, of course. But if I don't make 30,000 gold an hour, I'm not going to sell the mats. Simply as that. If I know that the farm doesn't have a possibility of getting me 30,000 gold an hour, I'm not doing it when we're talking about steady farms. So, whatever I do, doesn't matter if it's primals, volatiles, skinning farms, doesn't matter what it is, 30,000 gold on steady farms is my number. Now, that doesn't mean that your number should be 30,000 gold as well. Like, you might be happy if you can make 20,000 gold an hour. And in that case, selling these volatile water for 16 gold and 70 silver is going to be good. Because if you get 1,000 volatiles, that's like 16,700 in the volatile water. And then all the other mats you get from the treasure finding, you're going to be at 20k. No problem. But it's all about finding out like how valuable your time is, like what minimum gold per hour are you happy with, and absolutely fucking refuse to sell beneath that. So, and what I was talking about with stockpiling is that there's everyone is just, they're under the illusion that when the Shadowlands, the next, or whatever, then when the next expansion comes around, everything is gonna go up in price, and that is true eventually, but it doesn't stay at that high price all the time, and it certainly doesn't happen overnight. And what usually happens is that everyone is so stuck up in stockpiling that they're not supplying the auction house. They're just stockpiling it in the auction house because they're like, shit, I'm going to sell this for more, right? But the whole intention of stockpiling is to sell it for your preferred price, like whatever you're happy with. But if you can already farm volatile water and throw it up in the auction house now and you're happy with that gold per hour, there's absolutely no reason to stockpile it whatsoever. Only stockpile if the prices on your realm right now is really bad. So how I managed to make, I think I'm at like 12.7 million right now selling off my stockpile, which is it started at, well, at max I had like 32 million gold in material value in my stockpile, and then I've sold like 12.7 million of that. And that is because I'm constantly, like every single time when I log onto my stockpiling material bank, I monitor the prices of the materials, and whenever I see something that has a good price, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post that said material on the auction house. If it doesn't sell and I get undercut down to a bad price, I'll just whip it back into my bank. But if it sells, that's fucking great. And that is how I sold out probably 90% of my stockpile before Legion, because in Legion it was such a big thing where everyone was stockpiling, people were making videos on it, and it was like trendy to stockpile, and everyone usually stockpiled pretty much the same thing. So I just sold off everything that I had almost before Legion even hit. Made a lot of gold on it. So that is like the moral of the story today. So what you should take from this is whenever you do a farm, if it's a steady farm, don't put it on the auction house blindly. Like, check out, take a look at what it normally sells for. It's insane how prices are going up and down, even on an hourly or daily basis on most realms. So refuse to post it on the auction house if you're not happy with the current price, and you shouldn't be. You shouldn't just blindly trust that's what it's going to be right now. There's a lot of materials. If I search up volatiles, like volatile air was down to I think it was 9 gold and 50 silver like 2 days ago or something like that. It was insanely cheap, right? And it's the same thing with all of these volatiles. Same with primals. Like Primal Life are now 75 gold. Not too long ago they were like 240 gold. So the prices go up and down insanely much. So definitely keep that in mind. And if you have bought the book, like a lot of people have, and you started with the stockpiling section, then don't just drop it all on the auction house day one and think that you're going to make a fortune on it. You got to be patient. You got to put it on the auction house at the right time. If it doesn't sell, don't stress it. Put it back in your bank and post it whenever you're happy with the price. And you're going to make a shit ton more of gold. And once you get the hang of it, it becomes way more fun. It's way more fun to sell 70 Primal Fire for 600 gold each because you were patient than selling it for 175, because that is what you're currently up on your auction house for. So hopefully that's going to answer a lot of you guys' questions about investing and stockpiling, like how I deal with it, because that's what most people are wondering about. And that's pretty much it for this video. Last video of BFA coming out tomorrow. And if you haven't already, the stockpile section in my book is going to be in the book, obviously, today and tomorrow, and then I'll like upload a new edition of the ebook first day of Shadowlands, probably just to make it Shadowlands friendly. There's no point in having a Shadowlands stockpiling guide in Shadowlands, right? But that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I will see all of you guys back in tomorrow's video. Until then, bye bye.